Hello and welcome back to another episode of Critical Reactions with your host Bryan. We're going to wrap up this week as usual highlighting the work of a smaller artist. This one is Ismena, an indie folk singer-songwriter from the Netherlands. We're going to be looking at a track of theirs called Be My Water. Let's dive in and see what they're bringing to the table today. Alright, so we kick it off with noises of modern life. It sounded like a notification beep and maybe a scanner. There's people chatting. A phone going off. Oh. Really fun hocket there. I'm curious what all of those lines were. I just need to hear you say that you'll be there. And you will be my water at high tide and pull me through. I love resting on that chord there. Kind of hanging on to that. All right, I think that's the song. Yeah. So I have a verse, chorus, interlude. I don't know what to call that vocal hocket. A bridge, maybe even into another verse, chorus, and then it just ends on that chorus. It's a very calming track, though. I think that is definitely the purpose of it. It feels relaxing. It feels comfortable. It's honestly gorgeous. The piano and vocals sound great together. But there's also the context of the intro, too. The noise of modern living, phones and scanners, fax machines, I don't know, phones ringing, notifications going off. All of that leading into a white noise. I kind of heard something wave-like being at the shore. right before the vocals kicked in, but it was kind of quiet. So I don't know if that was just part of the intro noise being faded out. But this idea of I picked up one line, "Be my water at high tide" or something like that. I do feel like this song is about finding that point of rest, of calm, to get away from all the sounds of today, all of the things vying for your attention, and to have that point of clarity in your life. And I think the song does a fantastic job of that. And it's kind of what I interpret in that vocal bridge, too. The Hocket is once again moving away from field recordings, samples of all of these sounds, and creating a cacophony of noises from all over the place in the mix with just the voice. It is creating that element of having your attention pulled in so many directions once again that kind of feels like revisiting the themes of the field recording intro without actually revisiting that exact sound. Like I said, I can't wait to get to what the lyrics were there. I'm curious what's being sung. But at least that's what I get out of this. Moving away from your comfort area back into the noise of daily living and then trying to find that calm once again. Something else I find interesting though is in the chorus, we have the piano. We start from rest as most chordal progressions do. We move into a directional chord, really wants to go somewhere else. We go somewhere else and we just kind of hang on that. It isn't resolved, but it isn't tense either. It's almost like a half resolution, and we just kind of bung, bung, bung. We just keep playing that chord over and over until we hit the rest of chord 1 again and finding the release there. I find that interesting that the final chord of the progression isn't one of calm or resolution. We actually have to wait for things to start over, but it allows us to sit in this semi-discomfort. It isn't tense, it isn't anxious, it isn't sad or angry or anything like that. It's sort of just normal. It's not fully resolved, but it's not uncomfortable either. I wonder if this is also supposed to be a reflection of modern day living, just having our attention pulled in so many different directions that it's just normal to be in places that are full of sound. And it's only when we find a place to meditate, a place of calm or quiet, that we actually have contrast from it. It can find just how much we need to get away from that. At least that's what I get out of the rather limited music here. There is a tambourine that's played at the end, is a little bit of percussion, which is nice. Just a little bit of a timbre shift, but it doesn't change much of my understanding of the song. But it is gorgeous. I love the vocals. I love the piano. Everything about it feels calming and centering, except for the points that, like I mentioned, I think are designed not to, so that we can have this contrast. Let me dive into some lyrics on this and see what's going on there. All right, the lyrics are both what I expected and a little bit more than that. The verses are finding that home, that center. It says, "Can I rest on your chest when my day is done? I'll lie down and rest, finally alone." I think that's interesting right there. Hopefully it means alone with you. But the idea to find comfort in someone else while also being by yourself, I think, is a really interesting set of words. The second one says, "Can I ask once again? I just need to hear you say that you'll be there, and you will." So just wanting to find that stability, the other person being an emotional rock for our narrator. The chorus says, "Be my water at high tide and pull me through. You're the one that I turn to." So again, being the support in this person's life. There's so much overwhelming in their life. They just need the center to find their calm, and this person is that for them. So that all kind of checks out. But there actually isn't written lyrics for that spoken word bridge, the Hocket part. So I went back and listened to it, and it's really interesting. First of all, the harmonies in here is wonderful. I forgot just how good they are. We have 3 and 4 part layers going on, but they're bouncing around between the channels. And then there's also words being introduced here too. And it's kind of a magical little moment. I love it. But I actually got to listen to the words here. And it starts out with this rising pitch of can I, or can you, will you, please, stuff like this. I'm like, oh, okay. So we're having this idea of attention being drawn, right? This does reflect the intro. But it actually isn't, because from here it begins to be a questioning of the worth of our narrator in this relationship. Says, will you stay here? Am I pretty? Do you really like me? It adds a really interesting turn to this, which makes me wonder if that little bit of irresolution in the chorus isn't necessarily supposed to allude to the chaos of their life, but actually an internal chaos, as they're wondering if this person will be stable and will be their rock for the time, for all of time. They says, you're the one I turn to. I need you in my life. But there's something gnawing at them on the inside. When's this person gonna leave? Do they even really like me? How long is this stability going to last? And I find that to be an interesting little turn to the song, because everything else in the lyrics just seems like a really bright, positive track, and it tucks these insecurities into the middle of it. And it's done in such a beautiful way, too. It's not a cacophony of sounds. It doesn't get noisy or dissonant. In fact, this is the most consonant harmonic layering we have in the song. And it's all done with the voice, which I think ties a lot of this together. It is a flurry of internal thoughts. They have their own voice saying these things. It takes a song that, for the most part, feels pretty comfortable and gives it a dark meaning. I appreciate the vulnerability here. And I think this is something that a lot of people could probably relate to. The general feeling of this is great. I feel excellent. I love this in my life. Oh God, how long do I have this? When does my life, start heading south? When do I go into the free fall? Yeah, very, very interesting turn there, but very real too, and I appreciate that. These are my thoughts on, what is this track called? Be My Water by Ismena. Let me know what you thought of this. If there's anything that stood out to you, anything that you'd like to add on to what I said or correct me on. Do you have a different opinion or perspective on this that you'd like to add to the conversation? Please add all of that, as well as anything else that you'd like to write, into the comment section below. Above that, in the description box, you'll find a link to my link tree. You all know all that stuff, but I'm also going to have a link to their link tree, their whatever link in bio they use, social media, streaming platforms. If you enjoyed what you listened to, I'll make it really easy for you to find more of that music or their merch or whatever you're interested in. Above that, like, subscribe, and ring the bell. If you head on over to any of their pages, make sure you like, subscribe, star, thumbs up, whatever it is that they use. Show them a little bit of love from the Critical Reactions community. That wraps it up for today. I'll be back tomorrow, though, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. UTC as usual. Until next time, remember to be critical, not cynical, of the music you listen to, and have a fantastic morning, afternoon, or evening, whenever you choose to watch my videos.